Joy stood at the altar, dressed in a stunning white gown. The church was beautifully decorated. Friends and family smiled, clapped, and cheered as she said, I do. But in the middle of the celebration, there was one person who wasn't smiling: her mother. Her mother sat quietly in the front row, staring at Joy with fear in her eyes, because she knew. She knew what Joy was about to do. She knew that behind John's charming smile, behind his expensive suit, behind all the sweet words, lived a monster, a violent, angry, controlling man. Joy had seen the signs. She had felt his rage, his fists, his shouts, but she ignored them. She believed in love. She believed that if she just loved him enough, he would change. But monsters don't change. And Joy was about to learn that in the worst way possible. Joy met John at a wedding. He was tall, handsome, and confident, the kind of man who commanded attention the moment he walked into a room. When he saw Joy, he didn't hesitate. You're the most beautiful woman here. She blushed. Thank you. From that night, he pursued her aggressively. He called her every day, sent her flowers, wrote her long, sweet messages. He made her feel special. From the normal calls, then comes a relationship. John seems perfect in the eyes of Joy. She saw him as the love of life, and nothing can change that. But the first red flag came early. One evening, while they were out for dinner, Joy's phone rang. It was a male colleague from work. The moment John saw the name, his expression changed. His smile disappeared. His eyes darkened. Who is that? He asked. Oh, just a colleague. John laughed coldly. Colleague? Why is he calling you at night? Joy shrugged. Maybe work related? Before she could pick up, John snatched her phone and ended the call. I don't like other men calling you. Joy was shocked. John, it's just work. I said I don't like it. His voice was low and dangerous. Joy froze. That was the first time she saw the other side of John, the possessive, jealous, and controlling side. A small voice in her head whispered, this is not normal. But she ignored it. Because love is patient, love understands, love forgives, right? Their relationship moved fast. Within months, John was talking about marriage. Joy's friends warned her. He's too controlling. Her mother begged her. He has a temper, my daughter. Be careful. But Joy was in love. She believed he would change. Until one evening, he didn't. They were driving home when Joy received a text from an old classmate. John saw it. His hands tightened around the steering wheel. So now you're texting other men? Joy sighed. John, it's nothing serious. Before she could complete what she was about to say, she got a slap on her. The slap came so fast, so hard she barely saw it coming. Her ears rang. Her vision blurred. For a moment, there was silence. Then John broke down in tears. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Joy, please forgive me. He pulled over, grabbed her hands, kissed her face. I love you. I love you so much. I swear I'll never do it again. Joy sat there, stunned. Tears rolled down her cheeks. This is bad. But then she looked at him, his regret, his pain, his pleading eyes, and she melted. Because love forgives, right? So she nodded. Okay, John, I forgive you. And just like that, she made the worst mistake of her life. The abuse didn't stop. It started with slaps, then pushing, then punches. But every time, John would apologize. Every time, he would buy her gifts. Every time, he would say, I love you. And every time, Joy would forgive. Her mother saw the bruises. Joy, leave him. This is not love. Her best friend begged her. He will kill you one day. But Joy believed she could fix him. And so, against all warnings, she married him. And that's when the real nightmare began. Marriage made John worse. Since she was his wife, he owned her. She couldn't go out without his permission. She couldn't have friends. She couldn't even visit her own mother. And the beatings? They became frequent. One night, John came home drunk and angry. Joy had cooked his favorite meal, but something triggered him. Maybe it was the way she spoke. Maybe it was nothing at all. But suddenly, boom, he threw the plate at her. Bang! He punched her so hard she hit the floor. Blood dripped from her nose. She looked up at the man she once loved and realized she was going to die in this marriage. That night, Joy made a decision. She waited until John was asleep. Then she ran. She grabbed her phone, her purse, a bruised body, and she ran. She ran to her mother's house, and when her mother opened the door and saw her battered face, she wept. I told you, my daughter, but love blinded you. Joy collapsed in her mother's arms. She was finally free, or so she thought. For 3 months, Joy stayed hidden. She filed for divorce. She started therapy. She was finally healing. But monsters don't just disappear. One evening, she stepped out to buy groceries. And that's when she saw him, John, standing across the street watching her, a wicked smile on his face. Did you think you could leave me, Joy? Her heart stopped. He had found her. That night, Joy locked her doors. She called the police. She called her family. She was afraid. And then, bang! 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 Her front door shook. John was outside. Open this door, Joy. I just want to talk. But Joy knew better. She picked up her phone and dialed the police. For the first time in her life, she chose herself. Minutes later, the police arrived. And as they dragged John away, he screamed, You'll always be mine, Joy. But he was wrong, because at that moment, Joy knew she was finally free. Joy's story is not unique. There are many women like her, women who ignore the red flags, women who believe love can change a monster. But the truth is, it doesn't. If you see the signs, run, because love should never hurt, and no one deserves to suffer in the name of love. John was finally gone, but Joy's wounds were not just physical. Even though she was safe, she still felt his presence in her mind. She would wake up in the middle of the night, gasping for air, thinking he was still there. Loud noises made her flinch. A deep male voice made her shiver. Even the smell of his cologne on another man made her sick. She had escaped the monster, but the fear still lived inside her. Her mother noticed. You need to heal, my daughter. But how? How do you heal from something that broke you completely? Joy's mother took her to a therapist. At first, she didn't want to talk. She felt ashamed. It was my fault. I should have left earlier. But the therapist looked at her and said, It was never your fault. Abuse is never the victim's fault. Joy's tears flowed. For the first time, she let go of the guilt. She talked about the first slap, the loneliness, the fear, and slowly, she started to heal. Months passed. Joy started to smile again. She got a new job. She made new friends. She even started traveling, something John never allowed her to do. She was finally living. But one thing still scared her: love. She told herself she would never fall in love again until she met Daniel. Daniel was gentle. Daniel was kind. Daniel never raised his voice, never controlled her, never made her feel small. But still, Joy was afraid. One evening, while they were walking, Daniel reached out to hold her hand, and she pulled away. He looked at her softly. Joy, I would never hurt you. Her heart ached. She wanted to believe him, but her past still haunted her. Could she ever love again? One day, Joy received a letter. It was from John. He had been sentenced to 5 years in prison, and now he wanted to see her. Her hands shook as she read his words. I have changed, Joy. I'm a different man now. Please, just one visit. Her mother said, Ignore him. He is lying. Her friend said, He just wants to manipulate you again. But Joy felt something inside her say, face him, not for him, but for herself. Joy walked into the cold, grey prison. She saw John sitting at the table, looking thinner, weaker. He smiled when he saw her. Joy, you look beautiful. She sat down, her face expressionless. What do you want, John? His smile faded. I just, I miss you. I want to make things right. Joy laughed bitterly. Make things right? Do you even know what you did to me? John lowered his head. I was angry, Joy, but I've changed. She leaned forward, and for the first time she spoke the words she had been too afraid to say. You almost killed me. John froze. Joy's voice was steady. You beat me, humiliated me, made me feel worthless. And now you sit here and say you miss me? No, John, you don't miss me. You miss controlling me. He opened his mouth to speak, but Joy stood up. I forgive you, not for you, but for me, because I refuse to carry your weight any longer. She turned to leave, and as she walked away, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Joy never visited John again. She never looked back. She chose herself, and slowly, she let Daniel in. She let love in. And this time, it was a healthy love, a safe love, a love that healed instead of destroyed. One evening, Daniel knelt down and said, Joy, will you marry me? Tears filled her eyes. Not tears of fear, but tears of happiness. Because this time, she knew she was making the right choice. Yes, and just like that, she started a new chapter. A chapter where she was not a victim, but a survivor. Morale of the story: love does not fix an abuser. The red flags you ignore today will destroy you tomorrow. If they hit you once, they will hit you again. You are not weak for living. You are strong for choosing yourself. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel.